Hi there guys, I'm Nikhil from GreedyTech, and in this video, I'll be showing you the most important tips and tricks for your Oppo Reno 4 Pro. By the way guys, I'll also be making a dedicated video for the best features where I'll be showing you all the features offered by this phone. So definitely check out that video, link will be in the description. Now with that said, first I want to start off with the camera related features. Now let's open up the camera application, and whenever you open the camera application, the first thing it does is open the primary camera, and you also get the toggles at the bottom. 1x is the primary camera, that's the 48 megapixel camera, but by default whenever you take a picture, it saves it in 12 megapixel resolution because of the pixel binning concept. But if you want to take a 48 megapixel picture, we can still do that by using this 48MP mode. Just enable it and you can take a 48 megapixel picture. You can click it again to go back to your regular auto mode. Now over here we have all these toggles. The left toggle is for the wide angle camera, and you can see it is super wide. On the right side we have the regular 2x zoom and 5x zoom, which are digital zoom. It's just like taking a picture and zooming it in, so it's pretty much useless. I would recommend you to take pictures only in 1x zoom, and if you want to zoom in, you can always crop it later. Now you also get the dazzle color mode, and you can enable it from here, which just makes the colors look a bit more popped out and saturated. On the right side we have the portrait mode, which brings in some new features. First of all, we can change the amount of background blur effect you want while taking a portrait shot using this toggle over here. We can adjust the amount of background blur effect using the slider. Next we have two new filters, and you can access it from here. And the first one is AI color portrait, which simply makes the subject look in color while the background is in black and white. Well, obviously you can't see it over here, and here's a quick preview for portrait selfies with AI color mode. As you can see, I'm in color and the rest of the stuff are in black and white. If you want to take your regular portrait shot or regular portrait selfie, you can do it with the original mode, which keeps things in color. So let's go back to the rear camera. So that's AI color portrait. Next we have night flare portrait, which enhances your nighttime portrait shots with background blur effect. So that's all we got when it comes to portrait shots. On the right side we have some extra features related to the rear camera, and in slow motion recording we can record video at 960 fps on this phone, which is pretty rare. You can change the frame rate from here. Now if we go to the left side, we have video recording, and in video recording we can record with the primary camera or even with the wide angle camera. And sadly on this phone, while recording video we can't switch the cameras. Besides that, we can also record video with background blur effect using this toggle over here. Once again, you can change the amount of background blur effect you want using the slider. And here's a quick preview. It usually works well with human subjects. So that's video recording with background blur effect. Next we have ultra steady mode, and you can enable it from here. So just enable that toggle to get a super stable footage. We also have something called ultra stable pro mode, and you can enable it from here. So that's all we got when it comes to video recording. On the left side we have the night mode for the rear camera, and we can use the night mode with the primary camera as well as the wide angle camera. So shutter speed depends upon the lighting conditions. Now this is the interface for the front facing camera, and every time you switch to the front facing camera, you get a cool animation near that punch hole design. So here we go again. So here's that animation. Now on the left side we have the regular video recording mode, and on this phone we can record video with background blur effect as well, even with the front facing camera. Once again, here's the slider to change the background blur effect. You also have ultra steady mode for the front camera, which is pretty rare to see on other phones. So once again, we can record video with the front camera with super stabilization, or ultra stable, that's what Oppo calls it. Next we have night mode for the front camera as well, so even in low lighting conditions you can get some great selfies. On the right side we have the regular portrait selfie mode. Once again, we can change the amount of background blur effect you want using the slider over here. And we also have the filter AI color mode, which simply puts the subject, that's you, in color while the rest of the background is in black and white. And if you want your regular portrait selfie, you can do that from here. Finally, on the right side we have these extra features that are available only for the front facing camera. And you probably might know stickers, which simply puts different stuff on your face. So that's a quick preview. So these are all the camera related features. Next we have something called partial screenshot, and you can take a partial screenshot of your phone. Just place your 3 fingers on your phone and then swipe down, and you can take partial screenshot. I know this location is not what I wanted, but then I can readjust it, resize it, and get a partial screenshot. I'll talk more about screenshots later. For now, that's just about the partial screenshot. Next, I'm going to show you how to change the refresh rate on this phone. This phone comes with a 90Hz refresh rate display, which makes the display feel very smooth. By default, those settings are set to auto, which means your phone will automatically change the refresh rate based on what you're doing. That usually saves some battery, but to get a consistent experience and overall smooth experience, I suggest you to keep it at 90Hz. So to change the refresh rate, go to display settings, screen refresh rate, and set it to 90. And then you will have a constant 90Hz refresh rate. It affects the battery life a little, but for the overall great experience, I would suggest you to keep it at 90Hz. Next, we have a new feature called icon pull down gesture, and once you enable it, you can swipe and hold diagonally from the left side or right side of the screen to bring all the apps on your home screen near your thumb. And once you release your thumb on any application, it opens up. It's a cool feature, but only works on the default home launcher. Next, we have always on display, and once you enable this feature, you can see an always on display on your lock screen. So once you lock your phone, you can see a clock style, date and battery percentage along with some notification icons always on the display. From settings, you can either keep it always on or automatically turn it on and turn it off at a specific time, and you can also change the clock styles. Next, we have dark mode. Now once you enable this feature from display settings or directly from the toggles, it just completely changes the theme of your phone to dark mode. Things like settings app change, notification toggles, notifications, even the app drawer changes, even some stock applications like phone dialer and SMS application change, and even some Google applications like say Play Store, Gmail, YouTube also change to the dark mode automatically. It's a cool feature, it strains your eyes less at night and saves some battery as well. Next, we can also take a horizontal long screenshot. Just change the orientation of your phone from portrait to landscape and then take a screenshot and click scroll. Once again scroll it to get a horizontal long screenshot. Next, we have screenshot shortcuts. So every time you take a screenshot, whether it's with the buttons or the gesture, you get a quick preview on the left side. You can drag it down to share that screenshot immediately, or else you can drag it up to take a long screenshot. This is just a small trick, but works really well. Next, I'm going to show you how you can disable lock screen magazine. First, here's a quick preview of the lock screen, and every time you lock your phone or every time you come to the lock screen, we see a different wallpaper. Some people like it, some people don't, especially I personally don't like it. So if you're like me and if you want to disable it, this is how you can disable it from settings. And now, here's the lock screen once again, and no matter how many times you come to the lock screen, we will have a fixed wallpaper. Next, I'm going to show you some camera gestures. First, we have touch. Once you enable this feature, we can take a picture by just touching the preview screen. It works for both the rear camera and even for selfies. Next, we have the palm gesture, which only works for the front camera, and it's great for taking selfies. Just enable it and then show your palm to the front camera, and your phone will take a picture in just 2 seconds. And here's a quick preview of that once again. Next, I'm going to show you different navigation gestures. First, we have a gesture called swipe up from both sides, and once you enable this feature, navigation bar is hidden, and now you can just swipe from the bottom of the screen to go home. You can swipe and hold for recent apps, and finally, to go back a step, you can swipe from the left side or right side. You also get a pretty cool animation. Next, we have swipe up gestures. Once you enable this feature, you can swipe from the bottom of the screen to go home, swipe and hold for recent apps, and finally, you can swipe from the bottom left corner or right corner to go back a step. Next, I'm going to show you how to trigger Google Assistant with the power button. Just enable this toggle, and now press and hold the power button to trigger Google Assistant. If you press and hold the power button longer, we will see the power options. If you are using navigation gestures, this is pretty useful. Next, we have some important screen off gestures. We have things like double tap to wake. We can also draw a note to open the camera application. Next, we can draw a V to turn on the flash. We also have more like music controls and custom shortcuts, but most of the time, I just draw V to turn on the flash, and to turn it off, we can press the power button. Next, we have a pretty cool shortcut to start or open split screen mode. This feature is enabled by default. Just make sure this particular toggle is enabled, and if it is enabled, you can just swipe up using 3 fingers to open the current application in a split screen mode. Now this is an Oppo phone, it's not like other phones, so some of the applications will not support this feature. With that said, most of the applications, especially third-party applications, do support split screen mode. Next, I'm going to show you digital well-being. Now this is a feature from Google and you can find it in settings. This feature analyzes your phone's usage and gives you a complete report. It shows you how many times you've unlocked your phone, how many notifications you've got, how much time you're using your phone, and which apps you're using the most. So with all this information, you can know your usage and you can also limit your usage using this feature, which is a pretty cool thing. So let's say if you don't want to watch videos on YouTube for more than 1 hour in a day, we can put up such restrictions using this feature. Next we have wind down. This is another feature from Google which will help you sleep faster at night. Using this feature, we can schedule our phone to turn on grayscale mode and do not disturb mode automatically at a specific time. This is something I would definitely recommend you to try. Next, I'm going to show you how you can change your default apps, whether you want to change your default launcher, default browser or anything. For that, we need to first go to settings. Once you're in settings, select app management, then select default apps. Now from this page, you can change your default launcher, default SMS application, browser and so on. I would definitely recommend you to change your default browser to Google Chrome. Next, I'm going to show you how to display the battery percentage on the status bar. For that, go to settings, then select notification and status bar, and then enable this toggle. Once you do that, we can see the battery percentage on the status bar. In the same way, if you want to see the network usage on the status bar, enable this toggle. Next, I'm going to show you how to display the RAM information on the recent apps page. For that, go to settings, then select additional settings, and now enable this toggle. Once you do that, we can see the RAM or memory information in the recent apps page. Next, I'm going to show you how to take a screenshot. Now there's an easy way to do that. You just have to press the volume down and power button both at the same time and your phone will take a screenshot. Just like that. It works everywhere and you just have to press these 2 buttons at once and it really works. Now for some reason, if that's a bit hard for you, we also have the 3-finger screenshot gesture. Just go to settings and just enable this toggle. And once you do that, you can swipe down using 3 fingers to take a screenshot. Here's a quick preview. Once again, it also works everywhere. Just swipe down using 3 fingers and you'll get a screenshot. Next, I'm going to show you how to take a long screenshot. For that, first we need to take a regular screenshot. We can either use the buttons or the gesture. And once you take a screenshot, click long screenshot. Now we'll see a quick preview. You just need to scroll through the page. And once you're done, click done. And then we will get a long screenshot. Next, I'm going to show you how to record the screen on your phone. For that, first go to the toggles. And if you can't find the screen recording option, you need to click this button over here and search in the extra toggles. We have a dedicated toggle called Start Screen Recording. Just bring it up. And now we can start video recording just by using this toggle. Just click it and screen recording should start in 3 seconds. If your phone asks for any permissions, just grant them all. Next, I'm going to show you how to stop applications from automatically restarting in the background. For that, you need to first open Phone Manager. You can find it on the home screen or in your app drawer. Once you open it up, select Privacy Permissions, then select Startup Manager. Now from this page, we can start or stop applications from automatically restarting in the background. Personally, I'll enable this toggle for apps like Truecaller, WhatsApp or Instagram and disable it for everything else. So guys, these are the most important tips and tricks for your phone. If I missed out on anything important, do let me know by commenting below this video and definitely check out my video on best features. Link will be in the description. Now with that said, if you're planning to buy this phone, please use the link in the description. It always helps the channel. If you want us to make any specific video, tweet out to us with the hashtag AskGreedyTech on Twitter and we will try to make it as soon as possible. I'm Nikhil from GreedyTech signing off. Have a nice day.